Get inspired with the woman empowerment extraordinaire, LaMeel.
Hello, goddesses. Greeting, goddesses. Beautiful, beautiful goddesses. And Light Apothecary. You need to get over there, LaMeel.com, and order some. This shit is amazing, and it is the number one mixture that I am recommending right now for people doing serious work, right? On the full moon. It's an awesome combo. Magical Vixen oil combines with everything. When you're trying to manifest, it is sort of like this oil is like having a sugar daddy, right? Like when you're like, yo, I need this now. I need this now. It's different from my gold abundance oil because you should use that, right? When you are doing long-term work, when you are trying to stabilize your abundance, and you can even use it to increase amounts of abundance. So when you're leveling up and when you're at a level that you're enjoying and you're stabilizing it and you are manifesting long-term abundance for it to flow in every day, all day. Oh, and it smells so damn divine. It is. It has these beautiful gold, real 14 karat gold flakes in it. It has citrine crystals in it, and it smells like sometimes I just rub it all over me. And people are like, I just want to lick you. It's not really sweet, but it's delicious smelling. And so the oils in there are combined to raise your frequency to that of abundance. So that's that oil. The Magical Vixen oil is, I created it for all of my magical vixens who have joined the temple. And if you have not joined, come home. If you're interested in expanding your spiritual practice, if you are wanting to learn to be magic, create magic, live magically, this is the temple and the place for you to be. And so the Magical Vixen oil, a lot of you beautiful new goddesses and new to how magical you are show up with immediate needs. And so the Magical Vixen oil helps you with those immediate needs. Like, I need to do this shit this week. A little bit of oil. We won't go into that. You would need to join the temple, become a Magical Vixen so that you can learn all the details and the specifics. And right now, what you need to have is this Vixen oil, the black banishing oil during the full moon. Okay, I have two amazing lunar oils, the full moon and the new moon. Now, these oils are when you're trying to harness the properties of the moon and that particular cycle, right? So you can clean everything with it. You can dress your candles. You want to dress your body. You want to use it through the main days of that cycle in that 7-day period. So each oil you would use like on everything for 7 days, including all of your workings to harness the power of the moon in that cycle. You're focusing it into the work you're doing. So this does not negate that it is the full moon and you need a full moon oil, my beautiful dears. But if you have set some massive intentions, as I have, during this last new moon, and You can see things coming into fruition. But there are some things that you need to release, because this is what this does, right? The full moon, when you're manifesting, what you're really doing is releasing. When you're manifesting on the full moon, what you're really doing is releasing everything that may be hindering or slowing down what's going on. So all of our planets have gone direct. Retrogrades are over. And so for this full moon, you want to really blow through any stinking, stagnated, anything that remains, so that at the end of this new moon cycle, the beginning of the next one, when you're setting your new intentions, you are celebrating. If you are not already celebrating, right? Because a lot of times the full moon is also a celebration because it has come to fruition already. If your intention has not come to fruition and it has not materialized as of yet, you need the black banishing oil. So I have a special going on for the 2 oils and for the lunar oils. So don't know if you hear this outside of October, because I will honor this sale throughout October. But if you hear this outside of October, you're going to want to check with us and make sure the sale's going on, or if there's a different offer. I do change the offers during the moon cycles. But these are some oils you want to have in your arsenal. So I am packing oils. I am packing orders and blessing oils and preparing for my candle rituals that are coming, and getting it all together. This particular month, as the year draws to a close, I am being asked to do a lot more custom work, which I absolutely love, because I love working with you all, and preparing and helping you succeed, right? And so we have a burn, a prosperity burn, a setting of the lights, right? Setting of the lights. I call that when I'm doing work for you individually. A prosperity burn is a collective burn. So if you'd like to be a part of the prosperity burn for this new moon, full moon, please send me a message. So we're going to be busting through obstacles that may be blocking you financially, physically, or your health, anything due to relationships, right? We are going to be banishing and opening the roads in those areas so that you can complete the your manifestation in this cycle. And so the group burn is going to be a 7-day burn. So like I said, and I do prosperity burns, blockbuster burns, road openers, removing blockages burns, whatever the theme is, during the full moon and during the new moon collectively. All of the burns are group oriented. They're all group burns. However, for if you'd like a personal custom work, it's setting of the lights. I'm saying that so if you go to my website at LaMeel.com, you can find the service that you're interested in. So I have said a lot, and I thought this was going to be a prayer, an affirmation, a life affirming prayer of worthiness, which I guess I will be doing after this. So what I want to talk to you about today is how we get to decide as women how money works for us. Like, we get to decide not just how money works, but we get to decide how life works. And I'm a mother of 8. I am a grandmother to 3 right now, and my life is expanding. And as I get better at making decisions and holding my will to what I desire, it materializes faster. So I'll say that again. As I get better at focusing my will on what I desire, it materializes faster. And I've been at this for some time. However, through journaling, and I've been doing way more journaling lately, I discovered that I had some deeply rooted money issues that I had not yet dealt with. And I've dealt with a lot, right? When we're onions, you're going to always be dealing with money shit. As you make more money, as you get more comfortable, as you expand, you have to get comfortable. Like, you can manifest something and then you have to physically expand to meet that, right? To hold that. You can manifest a desire and then you have to expand to be able to maintain the desire. It's like asking for a big ass house and you manifest the house, you have to expand to cover the gardening bill, the electric bill, the water bill, the lights at Christmas time, to be able to buy more furniture, and so on and so on. It's an ongoing expansion to maintain that desire. And then when you have expanded to the point where the desire is contained, then you start asking for more. And those things happen really, really fast if you're good at focusing. And sometimes we expand really big and we manifest things and then we can't contain it. And so we can't keep it. And we feel that we've lost it. In reality, you haven't lost it, right? Because you never go back to where you were. You just can't hold where you are. So maybe you go down a vibrational level. But now you know what that feels like, so it's very easy for you to get back there. It's like people who are millionaires who lose all their money, and in less than a year, they're millionaires or multimillionaires again because they know what it feels like, they know what it takes, and so it's easy to do it. It's just a matter of expanding to the point of being able to keep it. I don't know who needs to hear that, but there it is. So, as you get better at focusing on your desires, they materialize a lot faster. And journaling and a 7-day, part of the 7-day mental diet, I'm going to be opening up. I thought I was going to open up the Juicy Goddess cleansing program this year. I'm actually going to open it up right after Christmas for the new year. However, as I've been working through it, there is a mental part to that cleanse. And I discovered there are a lot of times when I am thinking about what I don't want. I'm thinking about behavior that is typically demonstrated. And in this situation, it was typically demonstrated by my children, each of them having a different expression. But I know the behavior of my children. I know how they're going to behave. And so I was thinking and visualizing and feeling what was, right? What is right now? This is what they're going to do. This is how they are. I was very, very much focused on this is what they do all the time in these situations. And so as a result, I'm focused on them and their behavior instead of realizing that I am manifesting. My will is so focused on what they're going to do, how I'm going to be distracted, how this is not going to, how I'm so busy trying to figure out, like, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to make this happen? Even when they start doing X, Y, and Z. And in reality, I am manifesting them doing X, Y, and Z instead of simply focusing on, I'm going to do this, I'm going to produce, I'm going to have whatever it is, no matter what. Like, no matter, and I'm not going to be stressed about it. Like, I was writing in essence, a story that didn't serve me. And doing it very heavily regarding my children and someone else that I love dearly. So I did not leave room for them to do anything other than what I planned for them to do, which they always did, which I thought was an example of how they will never change, when in reality, it was an example of my power to manifest. I was manifesting that because, you see, when I make other decisions, have you ever had that, like, this is about to happen come hell or high water, and it fucking happens? What about this? I will not be moved come hell or high water. I will be at peace. I will make my goal. I will have my money come hell or high water. There are no other options because I'm a girl who gets what the fuck she wants all the time. Shit always fucking works out for me endlessly. And in this situation, it should be no different for me and not for you. It should be no different. You get what you want. And we decide what we get based on what we're focused on. So we manifest the story we tell, big or small. And this was a really heavily rooted story around my children. And, I do not believe that I have 8 children, but I do not believe that, like, any one kid has any more stuff going on with them than the average person. But because I have that times 8 plus some grandbabies, I am interrupted way more often because I am and have always been very involved. I wanted to be very involved in my children's lives, and for the most part, the children, still come to me, talk to me, things like that. But I then started telling the story when I didn't make my financial goals. Like, every time I set a big goal for myself, these kids have all this stuff going on, and then I'm stressed, and then I don't make my goal, and blah, 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 blah. But I set it up that way. I set it up to be their confidant. I set it up to be part of their support system. So I don't really want them to stop coming to me, but I also don't want to not make my goal. And so I really had to decide, right? We get to decide how money works for us and how our life manifests. So I have decided that whether I work or not, I just need to increase my energetic minimum. So I increase my energetic minimum, whether my cycle has come, my moon cycle has started, and I'm honoring it by staying in the bed for 2 days, or my daughter is having a breakup, and I am there to support her by laying in the bed and watching Netflix and drinking with her for 2 days. Doesn't matter. My energetic minimum has been set. I'm going to make the money whether I'm on YouTube, Instagram, emailing. Like, the money is going to come. I get to decide that. And if every one of my children has a crisis this week, I will still make what I have set as my energetic minimum, because I'm not available for anything less. And the way that I adjusted that is by changing the story, by journaling about my feelings surrounding it, and journaling until I couldn't come up with anything else, till nothing else flowed out of me. And then to go back and look, and after 3 pages of continuous writing and me circling and identifying all but 1 or 2 things were very specific to my children's behavior and my financial relationship to what I was trying to do. So what did that mean? It means I need to make some changes. It means I have a belief that is not serving me, that is surrounding my children and the amount of money I am able to make when they need me. And so as I read through them, is this ultimately true? Well, no, none of that shit is ultimately true. And then I realized who sold that bullshit to me. It's my ex-husband, right? You can't be successful and be a good mom. You can't do this and can't do that, because he was so fucking small in his own mind that he couldn't handle and was afraid of my growth. And so it was just a story that he told me to keep me small so that I wouldn't outgrow him. And I bought it. And I bought that shit when I was 20, in my 20s. And here I have this young, fragile 20-year-old girl who so desperately wants to be loved and accepted, running my almost 50-year-old life. Like, I can't have that shit. She got to go. We have to have a new belief established. And so what is the new belief? Well, the new belief is I'm going to make my minimum every week, whether I physically engage in a quote unquote work activity or not. Because it's not about the email. It's not about, I could feel that shifting. It's not about the email. It's not about the internet. It's not about social media, IG, TikTok, all that stuff. It's not about that. It's about alignment. It's about alignment. I've been listening to nothing but Abraham. If you're not listening to Abraham, I don't know what you are doing with your life. But if you're not listening to me, you should be listening to Abraham. Right? So, there is a book I want to recommend. Let me find it. So, that's a shift, right? No, my energetic minimum is set. Whether I do a so-called work activity or nothing at all, that money's coming. That money is a sure thing. That money's going to be deposited. I'm going to have it. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know who's about to buy. I don't know who's about to make their payment. I don't know any of those things. I just know it is going to be there from this point and forevermore, regardless of what my energetic minimum actually is. So now I know what my new belief is, right? I am opening up. Okay, so I had to check on the name of the book, which is Psycho-Cybernetics, and his name is Maxwell. Opening up that app interfered with our recording. So I suggest that you get the audio or get the physical book. I do both because I love the energy of books and the message that they have in them. So I keep the books around, but I typically listen to it on audio, recorded by the author when I can or when it's available. So now that I know, like, what is my limiting belief, right? How do I shift that? So in Psycho-Cybernetics, he's really talking to us about how you cannot operate outside of how you believe yourself to be. You can't operate outside of your belief systems, period. You cannot operate outside of your belief systems. You cannot manifest things that you do not believe that you are worthy of, can have, or will come. If you don't believe it, you cannot manifest it. You cannot believe in manifesting. Okay? You cannot believe in manifesting and still manifest. You are manifesting all day, every day, 24 hours a day, your entire life since you came out of the womb. So you don't have to believe in manifesting, but what the things that come to you, you have to believe that those things will come to you. Okay? So that's why you always get what you're looking for, because you believe it. So he just talks and he tells a story. He was a plastic surgeon, and how changing people's appearances did not always fix their situation because of the belief system and how they saw themselves to be. And so the essence of it is that you cannot act outside of the operation of your belief. So if you want something different, you have to change what you believe. And so I was believing that my children's behavior and their antics, their urgencies needed to be my emergencies, which affected how my funds flowed. It was a story that I was telling myself all the time, and I didn't realize it. It was so deeply rooted, and it wasn't true. Right? So once I looked through all the pages and I said, okay, all of these are related to the same idea. Is this ultimately true? Fuck no. What is true? What's true is that I get to decide how money works for me. I get to decide how the money's going to flow. And I get to decide that they have nothing to do with it. Not just them, but my lover doesn't get to decide. My mother doesn't get to decide. My friends don't get to decide. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter what they think, how they feel. Like nobody, not even my own self, fucks up my money, right? So now that I have the new belief, I then have to do the work on a daily basis of changing it. I have to keep thinking and reminding myself and acknowledging the fact that, when those old beliefs come up, nope, I'm telling this story. This is my new belief. And you keep doing it and you keep doing it until it really is your belief. Because at one time, it was not my belief that I always get what I want. And now it is. It was not my belief always that things always work out for me, but now it is. It was not my belief at one point that everything that happens is happening for me and not to me, but now it is, right? So I have to actively change my beliefs. And that book really, if you are not coming from a law of attraction based, or you deal with people in your life that don't have a law of attraction, universal laws foundation, and it's not your personal background, psycho-cybernetics really gives insight into that concept, kind of excluding, universal laws, the law of attraction, things like that, and still gives the same fundamental explanation, understanding that you have to change your beliefs. So, that being said, now I have a new belief system, and I am just simply believing and believing and believing in what I want on a daily basis, which means now I'm clearer about what I want, right? So I'm not offering this contrast. So I would say, this is what I want. And then I would be offering the contrast all day, every day, with every interaction that I was having with my children. And now that contrast is gone. And even if the contrast comes up, it is corrected. And I know it's corrected. And I know I am back in the vortex. I am back in the zone. I am whatever you want to call it, because I feel good when I correct it. And I feel good. It's like, oh, here I am. So I'm not even upset anymore that I had the thought, because I am creating a new belief system, and it feels so good. It's like when it's 160 fucking degrees outside and the water is ice cold and you jump in and it's amazing. And then you get out, and the sun, even though it's 150 degrees, feels amazing because your whole body is cool. And then you get hot, so you jump in, and then you see what I'm saying? And so, yes, there's a little bit of discomfort and contrast each time, but that cycle is so fucking delicious, and it's so wonderful that you don't mind it. And so that is how changing this particular belief has become for me. I've never enjoyed changing a belief so much as I do right now, and I am doing in this moment. And so now my focus is becoming less on the changing of the belief, although it is so sweet and delicious every time I get to correct myself and I get to dive into that water when my skin is on fire. And I get to focus on and the anticipation of me being happy and playful and watching my energetic financial minimums being met without the angst of and the stress of and the contrast, the negative contrast of that old belief system. So I pray that you were able to take away something, a better understanding of how to change your belief, why you need to change beliefs, how to identify the belief that you want to change, and I would love to hear like what beliefs you are changing, how is it going, tag me on Instagram. That's where I'm actually the most active. If you are not a part of my Magical Vixen Facebook group, please join. It's called Magical Vixen Training with Priestess LaMeel. If you would like to start your training and really get body deep and fully engulfed in embodying the goddess that you are, then I invite you to join the Magical Vixen Temple, where we do training every week and some live training every month. Courses are released every month, and we have a lot more one-on-one interaction, or I'll say group interaction. So there's lives where you can ask me questions, you can send information, and I can base the training on what we need as a collective. So, happy full moon. I hope you enjoy. I am blessing you with love and light and joy and happiness and delicious orgasms and delicious food and lots of playtime. Until next time.
LaMeel Radio. Empowerment radio for women, by women.